I'm here to talk about a campaign that the European Commission ran last year. It's called Faces to Hearts, and the key idea is to get other people to tell the stories of successful development cooperation around the world. So indeed, there was an offline and an online component of the campaign. The bloggers were traveling during 5 months. Each had a region of the world to cover, and they did more or less 8 or 9 countries. And they were always interacting online. So that was the sort of mix of offline, online. But they also invited people through challenges to sort of have an impact on what they were doing. So people were not just passive viewers of their adventures and their travels, but they could also shape the journey with them. So that was quite an interesting part of how we organized it. Why did it work so well? One of the main reasons was that we didn't censor them, we didn't give them any sort of strong guidance on what they could or couldn't say, and they had a lot of freedom to access our social media channels when they felt that it was appropriate. Everybody really liked the idea. Course, So even though it was unscripted and uncensored, there was still a lot of appetite for it. What people were worried about was the security of those young people. It was less what they were going to say than more how safe are they. And that we managed as well as we could. Nobody was hurt, nobody had any problems, somebody was mugged, that was the worst that happened. So we were really lucky in that sense, but it is really a risk that you need to manage. I think we were very aware of that because the person that managed the project was 25-year-old at the time, so she fit perfectly into the sort of profile that we were both sending out and also targeting. So we were quite lucky to have somebody that really could relate directly to the sort of digital savviness that these people demonstrate. Nevertheless, even if that hadn't been the case, we would have looked at statistics, at analytics, at trends to be able to spot what worked and what didn't work. So we would have had a backup plan in case we didn't have a young digital native in the team. So I think the things you need to be mindful of when you sort of go for an adventure where you look at a very, very young target like that is precisely to understand what works and what doesn't work, and not to be afraid of sort of shaping the campaign or shaping the project further so that it fits better with what they're looking for. I think one of the things that I would like to see more is spontaneity. I think we have very formal communication channels, and I think being more spontaneous is a way to let people understand better how you work without the varnish of institutionalization. It's a challenge, but I think you can address it by training your people really well, by trusting them, but by giving them the tools for them to be successful in that. So trust, training, and a little bit of freedom. Lots of new ideas, lots of new crazy campaigns popping up now in my head.